Canadiens, Golden Knights, Mario. Let's talk about it. Game 1 happened last night. Golden Knights won 4-1. They're up in the series 1-0. And it was a pretty good game, Mario. It definitely turned out to be in the Golden Knights' favor, and they take command of the series. So let's talk about it, okay? Let's go to the stats. I'll start off with the Golden Knights. Riley Smith had 2 assists and 1 shot on goal. Shea Theodore, Nick Holden, Matthias Janmark, and Alec Martinez all had 1 goal. So they did a really good job on offense. William Karlsson, Braden McNabb, Chandler Stephenson, Alex Tuck, and Zach Whitecloud all had 1 assist. So the offense overall, Mario, was doing really good. Marc-Andre Fleury had a pretty good game as well. He saved 28 out of the 29 shots, which is a save percentage at .966. So he did a really good job on that front. Only goal that came from the Canadiens, Mario, was Cole Caulfield, which was the only one. He had 6 shots on goals, and Corey Perry and Tyler Toffoli both had assists. And Carey Price didn't really have his best game, Mario. He saved 26 out of 30, which is a save percentage at .867. Now let me go to the box. Let me go to the box stats, Mario, because this is where it gets a little bit deceiving. Okay, so shots on goal, the Canadiens had 29, and the Golden Knights had 30. Right, face-off percentage, the Canadiens had 56.1%, and the Golden Knights had 43.9. Power plays, the Canadiens had 1 out of 3, and the Golden Knights had 0 out of 4. Penalty minutes, Canadiens had 8, Vegas Golden Knights had 6. Hits-wise, the Canadiens had 52, and the Golden Knights had 44. This was a pretty physical game. I watched a little bit of it. Blocks-wise, the Golden Knights had 16, the Canadiens had 15. Giveaways, the Canadiens had 5, and the Golden Knights had 10. And takeaways, the Canadiens had 14, and the Golden Knights had 13. So let's talk about this, okay? Because while 4-1 sounds like a good win, I'm going to be honest, this was a bit of a sloppy one in some aspects. You know, when it came to face-offs, they weren't doing that great. The Montreal Canadiens had them on that. You know, when it came to giveaways, they were giving away the puck a lot. You know, you can't be doing that. When it came to power plays, you didn't make any of them. You know, so while this was a good win on paper, you look at some of the stats and it does look a little bit deceiving. So in my eyes, it looks to be a bit of a sloppy win. But overall, they still won the game. They did what they had to do. But those are some things. If I'm the biggest Golden Knights, I gotta do better. You gotta stop giving away the puck like that. You know, you gotta make your power play goals. You had 4 of them and didn't make a single one. That's unacceptable. You know, you got the Islanders over here making 3 out of 4 in one game. Like, come on, you can do it too. Face-off percentage, you have to win those. You know, you can't be losing that like that. Now going to the Canadiens, you know, there were some things that worked out in their favor. You won the face-offs by 56.1%, but you only made 1 goal. What's that about? You were hitting these guys. You hit these guys 52 times. You still only made 1 goal. How is that even possible? You know what I mean? So if I'm the Golden Knights, I gotta win my face-offs. I gotta make power plays. I gotta stop giving away the pucks. If I'm the Canadiens, I'm doing everything right because they are doing some good, Mario. You look at it, they're actually not doing that bad. I mean, the only thing I would say is power plays. They made 1 out of 3, which isn't bad, but it could be better. But if I'm the Canadiens, their problem is, well, first of all, Carey Price didn't have a good game. Okay, that's definitely a fact. You know, Carey Price, I said, as long as he stays consistent, this could be a pretty close series, and he was not consistent last night. So that's something you definitely have to do. Their players have to get more involved. And you just need to capitalize on opportunities. It doesn't matter if you're a star or not. You have to capitalize on opportunities. I was watching a little bit of this game, Mario, and there were some points where the Canadiens could have scored and they didn't. But when you look at these stats, realistically, they didn't do a bad job. It's just they didn't capitalize on the opportunities that they needed that were given to them. Carey Price didn't have a good game again. That's another thing that really killed them. You know, Carey Price needs to stay a little bit more consistent. But overall, Mario, that's basically what I have to say about both teams. So with that being said, game 2 will be on tomorrow night. I believe it is 10 p.m. Let me just look to be sure. It's 9 p.m. Okay, so it's on 9 p.m. tomorrow night on NBC. So make sure you guys go check that out. Best of luck to both teams again. You know, if I'm the Golden Knights, I got to capitalize on power plays. I got to be better in the face-off, stop giving up the puck so damn much. And if I'm the Canadiens, you know, Carey Price needs to play a little bit better. The offense needs to do a better job of capitalizing and, you know, be a little bit better on power plays. And that's really it. That's really all I have to say. So best of luck to both teams tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens game 2.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, Carey Price has been dealing with, like, you know, his own he's been dealing with like different types of like injuries and stuff like that this year. So he came back not too long ago. So there's that with him too. But yeah, you're right. It's either he's having a really good game or a really bad game. I mean, this was one of his bad games, you know. And again, he didn't have the best game. He only had 30 shots. That's pretty doable, and he didn't save them, you know. Going to the Canadians, yeah, it's exactly what you said. You know, I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. It's because they didn't capitalize. You know, Carey Price didn't have his best game, and they didn't capitalize. But one thing I want to point to, the Golden Knights really helped themselves in the second period. In the second period, they outshot them 13-5. Okay, now even though the Canadians outshot them in both the first and the third, it didn't matter. Again, like you said, they weren't capitalizing on their opportunities. More guys got to get involved too. And there's a couple of first time goals in this game, Nate. You know, you point to one, Shea Theodore and excuse me for a second, Cole Caulfield. They had their first goals of the series. So, you know, congratulations to them. But yeah, look, this is one. I don't know if the Canadians are going to get another sloppy game like this from the Vegas Knights again in the series. I'm not quite sure. You know, because again, the Vegas Knights just didn't play that great. I'm going to be honest right here. You know, Marc-Andre Fleury, again, I say it for the millionth time. I love that man. And he did exactly what he needed to do. He saved 28 out of 29 shots. Simple as that. And he did his job. There were guys on the Vegas Knights who did do their job. You know, you had a 4-1 win, but when you look at the stats, again, there's a lot of things you can improve on. Get the puck more in your favor on the faceoffs. 0 for 4 is unacceptable on the power plays. You're getting out hit. You got to hit them more. You know what I'm saying? You got to be more physical than them. Giving away the puck 10 times, again, that's not going to help you, you know? So there's a lot of errors in this game that the Vegas Knights need to look at and fix. As for the Canadians, you know, it's at their problem was they didn't capitalize on their opportunities. It's as simple as that. You know, and Carey Price just didn't have his best game. And again, there has been times where Marc-Andre Fleury was a little bit off too. But Carey Price has been weird, you know? It's like it's so unpredictable. You just don't know what Carey Price you're gonna get. You can get the really good Carey Price and the really bad one. Here's what I will say though, okay? It's not like the Canadians in this series haven't been through adversity, you know? Again, with the Toronto Maple Leafs, they were down 3-1 and they came back and they ended up winning the series. So the series is not over yet. I say one thing that the Canadians need to do better, if I got to point to it, again, capitalizing on your opportunities, and also make sure that you don't penalize, that you don't have as many penalties that you did last game. You know, like 8 penalties. It's again, that's not going to help you. But luckily for you guys, they didn't capitalize on that. But regardless, you still lost the game. Capitalize on your opportunities, and Carey Price has to be better. It's just those two simple things. Because if those two things would have happened, they would have capitalized on their opportunities, and Carey Price didn't do as bad as he did that in game one. I think the Canadians would have won this game easily. But because it was lackluster play by both teams, the Vegas Knights ended up capitalizing on more opportunities than the Canadians, and they ended up getting the win. It's just as simple as that. You know, there's really not a lot you can point to. Second period, obviously, that really did help them. They had a good second period, but other than that, Nate, there's really nothing else you can point to. So, you know what? With that being said, Nate, I do wish the Canadians and the Vegas Knights the best of luck. Game 2 will be in Vegas, correct?
Correct.
So game 2 in Vegas between the Canadians and the Vegas Golden Knights. I do wish them both the best of luck. And both teams, you got to clean up the play because honestly, this wasn't the best game from neither one of these teams.